Darlings, how are you? This is Alive, and it's been a while. It's been a while since we've had a chit chat. Today we're talking about 10 realities that I need you to embrace wholeheartedly if you're going to succeed in love in this millennial. Okay? 10 things. Let me put that in the comments. Hello, gorgeous. Hello, gorgeous. How are you? So let's put that there. 10 realities. A feminine woman hello darling must embrace. It's so difficult trying to type it. Embrace dating in 2024, right? Let's send that. I hope I even spelled that right. And I'm gonna see if I can pin it. Let me pin it. Yes. Hello, my darlings. Hello. Hello from New Hampshire, USA. Hello, 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 my darlings. Okay, so I want to get into today's video because I've been so busy since I've been here. I have been gallivanting all over the place. I've been to New Orleans. I've been to, good Lord, New York. I've just been traveling all over the US with my niece and having just a good time and taking some time to rest. But I've also been working very hard on the Man Magnet. So loads going on here in the Academy. So I like to touch base because we're just growing so fast. So welcome to the new SWANs. We're growing so fast in this community, and I'm usually live on YouTube. But I really want to encourage you today. Hopefully I'm going to encourage you today, okay? Because I can see how things are going. How things are going in this marketplace. Okay, so since I've been taking the girls through the Man Magnet Masterclass, I am obviously touching down more on the pulse of what's going on in the dating world. Since I've been in the USA, my algorithm has changed, and now I'm really touching down with American culture and some of the issues that are happening in America. They are pretty much the same issues happening in the developed, in the first world, Western world, and probably globally now because everybody looks to the USA. Unfortunately, or fortunately, as the case may be, so many cultures derive and shift their cultures according to American culture. So everything here is very concentrated, right? The issues here in the United States are a concentrated version of what everybody else is experiencing. In the UK, you kind of feel it, but not as much as when you come here to the United States. Since I've been in the United States for about 6 weeks, I have really touched down with the vibration. I've been in and out of the United States so many times, but this is the first time I've actually stayed for an extended amount of time and really had an opportunity to really feel the energy and the vibration of the dating and relationship world here. And I'm so proud of you. Being a black swan in the Western world particularly is really an undertaking. It really takes so much self-worth, so much self-confidence, so much faith in God, in yourself, in the process to do. Because it's so much easier to be a duck or a chicken. So much easier. I was talking to one of my coaches and I was saying to her, if you want to have a boyfriend or husband in this environment, especially, and in the Western world as the culture goes beyond these shores, all it takes is a whole dose of self-abandonment, self-hate. Be prepared to be a man in the dynamic. Like, you got to pursue him, you got to chase him. You've got to do this for probably like 5 years before you get a ring. Like, you'll wear that man down, right? You got to chase him, you got to pursue him, This is the dynamic that has been set in motion. So what it's done is it's put men in the feminine. And I mean, when I started doing this work, about 10 years ago when I started, you had the odd feminine guy. You had the odd guy who was in his feminine energy. We would run into them, we would run into them. But they were the exception and not the rule. 10 years later, post red pill, post manosphere, post feminism. Well, I can't even say, this wave of feminism. We have a majority of men who sit in feminine energy. I mean, sit in it. They occupy that space. They feel entitled to that space. And as women, we're literally fighting for the right to be women. We're literally fighting for the right to be women on so many fronts that I don't think we're aware that the battle for women to be women is raging on so many levels, right? And especially in heterosexual relationships, because men behaving, thinking, rationalizing like women is the weapon their red pill leaders gave them to manage the reality of dating women. Okay, so what happened is, this information came out and men came touchdown with the reality of women, that we are hypergamous beings, that we date up, that we want providers, protectors, and that we are not attracted to men who cannot do that. They got angry because they believed the Hollywood version. And then they were told, well, the only way to deal with it is to become a woman. Like, let them give to you. Let them pursue you too. Let them love on you too. Let them pay for you too. Let them come to you too. And if they do that, she's a real one, right? So men are running around believing they've got a real one because she's pursuing and behaving in the masculine, not understanding that a woman that behaves and pursues in the masculine is only doing that because she is wounded, because she has abandonment issues, she has an anxious attachment style. And guess what? What I end up meeting are these men at the end of that journey, right? So quick story before I get into the things you can expect. I'm in Boston and having a great time. My niece and I decided to go and have drinks at this bar. We get to this bar. We're both on a no alcohol thing. I don't really drink, but my niece is on this sort of detox thing. So we go to this bar, this lovely bar, and we sit down, and next to me, there's a gentleman, and he says to me, "Oh, your accent is different. Where are you from?" So I said, "Oh, I'm from England." And so we started up a conversation. Now I'm talking to this guy and I can see, because being who I am, everywhere I go, I meet problems. Okay. In a good way. I feel like I was sent to this man. So we're sitting next to each other and we start talking, and so I was like, "Oh, you're having dinner here," and it was just a pleasant conversation. I could sense he wasn't trying to flirt. He just seemed like he just wanted a friendly person to talk to. I'm that girl. Wherever I am socially, I'm that girl. You can talk to me. I've got that open aura, that welcoming spirit. And so we started to talk, and turns out he was getting divorced. He just moved out. He was separated. And basically his life was crumbling down. He was staying in a hotel. And I could see that the man was about to fall apart, right? So we had this conversation. And so I said, "Okay, so let me guess. This was happening in your relationship. That was happening. This was happening. That was happening." He was like, "Oh, how do you know? Like, how do you know? Did you read my palm?" And for any of you who've never had a discovery call with me, that's kind of the experience you're going to go away with. You're going to go away thinking, how does she know? Okay. It's not rocket science. It's just I'm an expert. So I said to him, "Yeah, this is what happened. This is what happened. And this is what happened." And then he was like, "Yes, this is exactly what happened." I said, "When she wanted a divorce, this is what you did." "Yes, this is what I did." I said, da 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 da. So I literally told him exactly. How did I know? Because feminine men always end up getting divorced. And I told him, "Okay, so in the conflict with your partner, this is how you were reacting." He said, yes. I said, she would do this and then you'd react like this. Yes. I said, that's because you were not the masculine. You didn't hold frame. When the feminine does this, the masculine has to do this. Did you ever do that? No. Well, if you had done that, that would have contained the situation. And I went into where we spoke for almost 2 hours, and this man was almost in tears. Like, I could see him holding back from crying. This is what this man says to me. I was supposed to meet you today because you've saved my life. And then he says, why don't they teach these things in school? Why do they teach us everything else except for these things? And it broke my heart because this man could have saved this marriage. And I said to him, look, you can still save it. It's not beyond salvation. It's just that the man you have to become to undo the decades of damage you have done. And I wasn't not acknowledging the damage she done. But I have a lot of these conversations behind closed doors because I do work with men and they do call me, and always without a doubt, I hear from men when they've lost a good woman, either in dating or in marriage. And it's always the same thing. Feminine behavior in men makes them abusive partners, makes them insensitive partners, makes them difficult partners. And here's a sad story. It has been normalized. Men acting like women is the new normal. Men wanting women to pursue, new normal. I have reels on here saying to women, don't pursue, let him pursue you. And it's the men that are losing their rag. It's the men that are losing it with me because they're upset that women don't want to chase them. It's the men that are getting upset because women don't want to split the bill. Do these men, I mean, we need to go back to a time when men were actually men. And I'm sure our ancestors are like flipping in their graves. Like, I cannot believe the son of my son of my son of my son expects. I didn't do that to create this lineage. For this lineage, I had to go out into the wild and fight lions and bears just to bring home a rabbit so my family could eat. I had to gather resources and be in danger to support a woman and children and even a whole village. And they're looking and they're turning from their grave and they're like, these guys don't even want to do anything. I believe that male ancestors are spinning in their graves. They are. I think my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather and the fathers, do they realize that they wouldn't be here if a man did not provide, protect, and take care? Okay. We are in a state of emergency. We are in a state of emergency. I was praying yesterday. I was, Lord, we have lost the men. We have utterly and completely lost the men. However, there is hope. There's hope. There's hope. And I'm going to bring you some hope. You know, the Bible says what is has always been. There is nothing new under the sun. So these men that we're seeing in my comment section and the reels, the commenting and being bitchy with me and going back and forth and being sassy with me, they are children of their forefathers, okay? These men have always existed, but these men would be ashamed. They would be the cowards that would hide when the real men were going to war, you know? Because yeah, there were men in the past who, when our great-grandfathers, great-great-great-great-grandfathers were going to war to fight for territory and to protect theirs and going to hunt, there were some men that would hide in the bushes, okay? Or, you know, pretend to be women. I don't know. These men were there. Cowards have been here for their whole life. People who men that make excuses, they're not new. They've been here all this time, okay? They've just children of their ancestors. They survived through cowardly, selfish, unmanly behavior. Somehow they made it through the cracks. Okay. But for most of us, we're here because we had strong men, right? We had strong provider ancestors who went to war and allowed the generations to survive, because unless men are strong, there will be no survival of the species. Okay. Strong men create protection and provision and allow the species to continue, right? And feminine women multiply life and create life and give life and nurture life. And without feminine, beautiful women, right, there would be no extension, right? But what we have are now weak men who seek to occupy feminine spaces, who are programmed to think like men, women who want to be women. They want you to chase. They want you to do all these things. And these are the men that I wanted to talk to you about, so that you can sift through them very quickly. Okay. Why do you have to sift through them very quickly? They have nothing for you. The good news is the strong ones, our daddies and our great daddies, who were strong men of war, men who made things happen, men who fed villages and built homes and built things and didn't complain or sit amongst women commenting for hours, right? And I come from a culture in Zimbabwe where men don't even sit with women. Like when it's a party or whatever, men and women separate. We have different places. Men don't expect to sit with women and argue with women about women things. It's like, what? Like, it's not the culture I was raised in. Men are men, women are women. It is what it is. Nobody comments, okay? They have their situation. They hear women say their thing. They move on, right? But we live in a culture where men are quite happy to sit in a Black Swan space with Black Swan women and engage and write essays and give opinion. My ancestors, they shudder. My forefathers, they shudder. My forefathers, they are shuddering over what they can see right now. The ancestors in my soul, they're crying out. The genes of my ancestors are like, Chengi, help the women. So I'm going to help you. But I want you to know that the good, strong, powerful, loving, masculine men, they still exist. They're not vocal. They will not be found. Some will be found. Like, there's a guy on here, and he's always like, yeah, that's right. He supports all our feminine stuff because he's a masculine guy. And you will get some of those who are like, the girl's not lying. She's telling the truth, right? Those are your masculine men. Other men will probably call them simps or whatever, but those are masculine. Masculine men exist. Thing with masculine men is they're not vocal, okay? Masculine men by nature are not interested in social chit chat, what's going on the internet, because usually they're busy working, they're goal orientated, they're gathering resources, they are protecting things of value, they're pursuing a goal, they're very focused. So masculine men are hardly going to be found on the internet, let alone in the Black Swan Relationship Academy, let alone in the red pill space, let alone they are there, and there are plenty of them. And you're going to have to move like a feminine woman to magnetize them, okay? You're going to have to learn what that looks like. However, you're going to have to act like a feminine woman with feminine men, and they are going to beat you, discard of you, throw you away, vilify you, shame you. Okay, so I want us to anticipate these realities. The first reality is that when we say, I want a husband, I want to be in a loving, long-term relationship, that's got to be tested. God or the universe, depending on what you believe, is going to test that resolve. And so many of us girls lose the will at guy 3. You meet feminine guy 3 and you're like, that's it, I'm out. Okay? Because guess what? You gave these guys too much too soon. You showed up and pandered to them. You did not show up in your feminine and honor your sacred femininity and walk away quick enough. Okay? These guys I'm about to talk about, they won't change for you. They won't change because you're feminine. They won't change because I just want you to show up feminine and just be prepared to be shamed. I want you to be prepared to be vilified. I want you to be prepared to be brutally attacked, because these men that do these things, unfortunately, are rotten eggs. Children of their fathers. And they're very vocal, and they're very loud, and they're very present. They're present on the dating apps. They're present in the streets. They've got nothing better to do than fight with women, finesse women. They have nothing better to do. So you will meet more of them than you will meet the masculine men who are about their business. But when you meet them, just be rid real fast, real quick, so that you can get to the one we want. Okay, so we're getting way too discouraged way too quickly. This is the atmosphere. This is the environment. I would love to say we're going to change it. For the atmosphere and the environment to change, we need to get rid of every thirsty girl that would give it to them for free. Yeah. Number one. I can't read my own writing. Let me say. Right, if you go out on a night out, there was a time in history where all a girl had to be was pretty. Okay, so she would go out on a night out and men would approach her and she would get offers, men would buy drinks, but by and large, just being a woman was enough, Being pretty was a bonus, but by and large. However, I want you to understand that you must go out, you must present yourself, you must show up in the world. But please don't get discouraged if nobody talks to you, and totally don't get discouraged if nobody buys your drink, because feminine men out here don't buy drinks and they don't approach, okay? That shouldn't stop you from signaling. That shouldn't stop you from smiling, giving eye contact, even waving. That's fine, because even masculine men need a signal, okay? So you can be like, okay. But don't take it to heart if they don't approach, because men are sitting in feminine energy, right? They won't. I went out to Boston with my niece. We went out to just have dinner and we sat in the lounge, and the lounge kind of turns into like a little bit of a party place a little bit later in the evening. And so it was good. I was people watching, my favorite thing to do. I'm watching everybody, and the girls, bought the tables and they just bought the drinks, and they were getting drunker and drunker. The men came in, very good looking men, handsome men, great looking. And whether they are, I don't know anything else about them, but I saw them way younger than me, of course. It wasn't my kind of scene, but I just love watching it. And the men came in and they stood by the bar, kind of at the corner. They didn't speak to one girl. And my niece was like, "Auntie, did you see that?" I was like, yeah. It's just like, they were actually waiting for the girls to buy themselves drinks, get drunk. Because at the end of the evening, when the girls who had bought their own tables, bought their own drinks, were starting to get drunk and doing the twerking thing that women tend to do when they're drunk, that's when the men started approaching them, right? So this is the state of affairs, okay? So if you do go out, men expect this behavior. They expect women to buy their own drinks, get themselves drunk, then offer their bodies as a living sacrifice, all right? So this is what low value, low hanging fruit women have done to the dating market. So men don't feel the need to approach anymore. But a masculine man, given a signal, will make the approach. But don't be discouraged when you go out night after night, day after day, event after event, and nobody approaches you. Don't be surprised. Okay, so that's a reality that I need you to get a hold of. But keep going, because masculine men are here, but they're here for the woman that doesn't quit. Okay, keep showing up in your feminine, looking pretty, with a good attitude. I just want you to know that these things are going to happen. If you go out into the world thinking, oh, it's not going to happen, I got the tools, I got the skills, I'm going to be that exception, you won't do what it takes to keep moving forward. Because the women that get married, the women that end up in healthy relationships, not just getting married, because marriage, anybody can get married, they're prepared to sell their souls to the devil, right? But those that end up in healthy, loving relationships with masculine men, they will tell you that they did not give up. They went on 100 dates, 200 dates. Now, at the Black Swan Relationship Academy, you do the work. You won't need to go on that many dates. If you work with me personally, it's 10 dates, baby. But it's going to cost you, okay? But, you know, for most women, you're looking at 100, 200 dates. Why? Because you have to sift through the wheat from the chaff, okay? You've got to sift through the feminine men, get them out of the way, get them out of the way. And that passive energy that you're getting when you're going out, that's feminine energy, okay? And that's going to depend on the city you're in, the environment you're in. But your job is to show up as the feminine woman, signal the guys you like, okay? Smile, wave, or just smile, eye contact, you know, all the things I teach in the Flirt and Date Masterclass. All you have to do is comment education and you'll get a 40% off link to buy the Flirt and Date Masterclass. Number 2. Okay, you're gonna meet a lot of men who are for the streets, okay? Let's just be clear. Not everyone in the world. There are men that are born with a gene that does not allow them to commit, or lacking a gene. Some men, no matter how hard they try, cannot commit because biologically they don't produce what they need to produce to be able to bond with a woman, okay? Now, because of hookup culture, that which was a rare thing that a man can't commit, has become culturally acceptable. So girls, please understand that some men are for the streets. They're never gonna commit to you. They're going to show you in the way that they move. They're going to show you in the games they play. They're going to bring the game early. They're going to start pulling away early and doing all of these funny business early. Let's just keep that moving because they're just letting you know, I'm for the streets. There are so many men who are for the streets. And they are on dating apps. They are in the streets. They are in the bar. So many men. Now, you have to behave really high value to be able to discern the wheat from the chaff. That means if you require him to be masculine, if you require him to make the effort, if you require him to pursue you, then as he does that, a healthy man who is not for the streets will actually begin to develop attraction for you, okay? Because that's how men develop that bonding and that attraction, through pursuing you, through effort and investment. That's how some of these guys, you can separate between the ones for the streets and the ones for long-term relationship. But what we're doing out here, ladies, is number 1, exclusively dating these guys. Number 1, we shouldn't be exclusively dating anyone who hasn't put a ring on our finger, or at least stated very clearly with apparent intention that they want. Otherwise, you have to be dating other people. So don't make this mistake of exclusively dating one of these guys because they're gonna waste your blessed time, okay? Number 2, you just have to keep your standards where they are. You just have to keep your standards up there, okay? And the guys that are not for the streets, they're gonna recognize real. They're gonna recognize a quality woman, because men who are looking for lifelong partners or long-term partners are looking for women that don't yield to foolishness. Okay, they were looking for women they can respect. All right, really important. Number 3, expect to be ghosted. Okay, for any woman that's dating, please expect to be ghosted by, you're talking to a guy, you're vibing. Just don't anticipate anything. Take every day as it comes, because these guys are talking to other women, and God knows at the point at which you met them if they were kind of closing the deal with girl number 9. Okay, so I want you to just expect that you don't know where he is with girl number 2. He may have been getting towards exclusivity, because men, honestly, they'll date to the last minute. They'll date to the very last drop. So they could have a woman that they're treating to dinners and taking care of and doing all of these things with, and really investing their money in, whilst keeping some irons on the fire, and you might just be that iron, okay? So don't take it to heart if the guy you like ghosts you, if he was coming on strong and then he's gone. Let him go. He's wasting your time. Time is important because it's your life, and the energy that you're putting in there is just too much. Number whatever, 5. I don't know. I'm missing it. I always miss it. Sort of right things. Expect to meet nice guys who are not masculine. Okay, so there will be a lot of nice guys, but they lack masculine energy. And here's what will happen. People will be like, give him a chance, give him a chance, give him a chance, right? Yeah, now you've got to be attracted to somebody for it to work. I'm not saying you have to be like 10 out of 10 attractive, but there has to be an attraction. There are a lot of nice guys, and what happens is when we settle for the nice guy, a man who does not own his voice, his power, who's just ready to pretty much be a simp, that man can't really can't protect you. That man, your body knows this is not a safe man, right? So trust that. It's okay to let go of a nice guy. It's okay to say, you know what, you're nice, but not for me. Because you will encounter nice guys who have not embraced their masculine energy. They're simply just willing to do whatever you say to get a girl. And it's sad to me, and they need to come to the Black Swan Relationship Academy so we can teach them how to be masculine energy leaders, right? But I feel like sometimes girls are being put under the pressure to just be with a nice guy. Nice guys eventually built up a lot of resentment, and when their cup is full, they will become demons, okay? So be prepared for Mr. Nice Guy. Be prepared to meet red pill. I put idiots here, but because, you know, like I've said before, red pill in itself as a philosophy, as an idea, as an ideology, whatever people want to call it, so many debates around it, is not toxic. Unfortunately, the leaders of the red pill are mainly toxic. So they sell toxic ideas, they sell toxic prescriptions, they're teaching men to be women, that kind of thing, okay? So be prepared to meet the red pill guy. You know, he's gonna have this lingo and rhetoric. Please go watch their videos because they're all saying the same damn thing, okay? A woman has to cooperate, a woman has to reciprocate, I mean, they've got these kind of lingo, and when those ones, we've kind of all got fed up of them, they just create new lingo, but it's the same thing. I will not provide, protect, and cherish. I'm not doing that. That's pretty much red pill stuff. Red pill stuff is pretty much I'm abdicating responsibility that comes with my manhood, okay? And we've had this conversation multiple times, but you must expect to meet them. Expect to meet them on dating apps. Expect to meet them in the streets. Expect to meet them everywhere. They're everywhere. It's like a disease. So expect to meet them, but don't get discouraged. Like, okay, you're that red pill guy that Mama Swan was talking about. Okay, next, right? Don't try to have conversations with them, persuade them different, have debates with them. They're rotten eggs, okay? The ones that could be saved have been saved. They're rotten eggs. They are. I mean, they're committed, sold out to foolishness. So just let them go and trick some poor girl somewhere. I don't want that for any girl, but they will go and trick some girl into believing they're the prize, and she'll probably buy it and then be like, and we all know she's married to a dud, okay? It is what it is. Those species must continue, but we are black swans, so we can't mate with ducks and chickens. You know what I mean? Next is expect to pay for dates. You know, expect it. Expect to go on dates and expect to be required to pay. You know, don't do it. If you don't do it. But it's better than having to run away. You know, it's better than having to run away in your heels because no one's paid the bill. Okay, so be prepared for that. Don't let it dishearten you. Just don't see him again. Okay, look, we here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy operate a zero tolerance policy. Okay, we are gonna give second chances to losers. All right, so if you's gonna expect you to pay, let's just keep that one moving, shall we? Yes. Okay. Listen, it is what it is. We're black swans. Okay. Why would you entertain a man who is behoved to put a meal on the table? He's eating too. I mean, is he buying your groceries for the month? I understand if a man was behoved to put groceries in your fridge. I mean, what? So, what? So you ask me on a date. It's your date, but I have to pay. I didn't come looking for you. You came looking for me. I was minding my own business. I may have signaled you, but you could have stood where you were standing and ignored my signal. But you came because there's something you wanted. So why do I have to pay again? Honestly, I don't even want to have this conversation. I just find it so ghetto. Like, I don't even want to have this conversation, even on this platform. It's making my skin crawl. Like, my skin is crawling. Let's just keep that moving. If he's like waiting for the check. The guys I date, I've got to be honest, I don't even know when the bill's been paid. That's the truth. Like, I date masculine guys. And the last date I was on, I didn't even know the bill was paid. He just pretended to go to the bathroom. He was like, I just need to go to the bathroom. And the next thing I knew, he was coming at me with my coat. I didn't even see the bill. I didn't see it. And that's just how it is when I date. So I'm kind of having a hard time even having this conversation because it's just too ghetto. Like, come on. And this guy didn't even get laid or expect to get laid. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are men out here who just know how to be men. They just know how to be gentlemen. So please don't entertain the losers. Do it for Mama Swan. Do it for me. Just say no. If he implies that he expects you to pay, if you're not certain that he's going to expect you to pay, like if he's not saying, I'd like to take you out on a date, I would like to take you out to a special restaurant. If you're accepting meetups and it's like, let's meet up, and you're like, okay, you're being expelled from the academy. Being expelled. Because we don't do meetups, okay? We do dates. So you'd say to him, are you asking me out on a date? And then he has to give an affirmative. If it's a date, then he doesn't must pay. We're not entitled to it. I want you to understand that's not an entitlement, because we date like ladies, right? We appreciate a man, we validate a man, we make him feel special for doing what is gentlemanly. But you can at least expect that he'll be a gentleman, as you will be a lady, right? You will be a lady. Otherwise, again, you're expelled. Right? You will be grateful, you'll be thankful, you'll be appreciative. Thank you so much for bringing me here. It's so lovely, right? We've done all of this. If we haven't done all of this, go and get the dating playbook, okay? Because I teach you how to be charming and feminine and elegant so that a man loves the idea of paying for you. But if you're none of these things, okay, you're going to need an education, okay? But let's keep a thing, okay? Point made. All right. Be expected to be pressured for sex, like girls, like expect the pressure in this dating market. They want to get you to pay your own half and then jump into bed with them. Okay, don't get discouraged. We're getting discouraged over this foolishness. Honestly, like, I'm watching you guys going, oh my God, I'm gonna become single. I'm gonna just like adopt cats and join a nunnery. And what I'm trying to say to you is, this is standard procedure. This is the dating environment, and it's almost like expected. Like, make room for it in your head and don't take it personal. Like I said, these are children of their ancestors. Our mothers had to deal with them. Our grandmothers had to deal with them. Maybe not in the volume that we're having to deal with them. But our mothers, our grandmothers, they had high standards. They expected provision, and they expected a man to be a gentleman. And even if these men abused them in marriage, they still paid a price. I tell you, my dad paid a price to get my mom, right? Okay, he did. And he may have been a bad husband thereafter, but our mothers were not messing around with idiots or broke men or men. They were not. You know, our fathers, our grandfathers would bring a gift when they were taking our grandmothers out on a date. They would bring a corsage. They would, charm them and pay for them in order for us to exist and to carry their bloodline. Okay? So, And they were not getting laid necessarily. So why does this generation accept foolishness? So yeah, expect that the children of the losers and that generation of losers have still got their children here. We have to live with them. We have to live with, just as our great grandchildren are gonna have to live with the red pill losers. They're gonna have to coexist with their children and their children's children and their children, because these losers are teaching their sons to be losers. So our children are gonna have to coexist, but it doesn't mean that they have to reduce their standards. Okay, because the men that are with us, they're gonna raise our sons to be men of valor and honor, etc. So if a man is pressuring you for sex, just deselect him. Just get rid. Ladies, good women, black swans are good women. If you're here watching this, whether in the replay or live, you're a good woman. Okay? I know you are. We hang around too long with losers. We need to stop it. Let him go. Bye. Next. Next. Get that in your head. Next. You are showing me you are not a masculine provider man who cherishes a woman and values a woman for being a woman. You're out here trying to make relationships a political statement to support your femininity and your losery. Next. Why are we sitting here actually having this interaction just next to them? Next. Okay. And you must expect to absolutely, be approached by married men. They are a complete disease that we all have to deal with. Okay. I'm not saying married men are a disease. I'm saying that married men who still pursue relationships outside of their marriages are diseases. And we all have to live with it. It is what it is. It is what it is. But before I depress all of you, if you can accept these things and embrace them, it's a bit like when I go to the gym, I accept I'm going to sweat. I'm going to the gym after this. I'm all ready. I'm poised. I'm good to go. I got me cap, right? I'm ready to go sweat it out in the gym, right? Tie this back, wrap it up. But when I go to the gym, I expect to sweat. I expect my muscles to hurt. I expect to cramp. I expect to want to give up. I expect the third set to be hard. I expect that my muscles are going to ache the next day. There's certain things that why I've been faithful to go to the gym throughout the years is because there's an expectation of suffering. So I keep going because I expect the pain. Some of us want to go to the gym and we're surprised when our muscles hurt. We're surprised when we feel the burn. We're surprised when we can't walk the next day. And so we quit on our journey. Too many of us are quitting on our journey because that we just have to meet one guy that won't pay and we're ready to cry in our soup and not continue. But what you're doing is sabotaging yourself. Please embrace and accept that we live in a world that is rampant with feminine men who will not ever change their minds, who pursue women to use them, abuse them, and discard of them. And when women file for divorce, they cry to mommy and they go on the internet and say these women, but they're not interested in being good husbands. I had a guy yesterday in the comments say, so when a man behaves like a woman, he's not a good husband. I was like, you can't make this stuff up. That was his argument, because I was saying to him that his behavior is feminine and woman-like. So his comeback was, so what are you saying? If a man behaves like a woman, he can't be a husband? And I was thinking, he can be a husband to another man, but there's no way he can be a husband to a woman. I didn't even know what to say. I think I posted in my stories because I was flabbergasted. I was literally taken aback, because this is the nature of the situation. If you're gonna be a wally, okay, and be like, oh, my feelings are hurt because these men want to take us on walks. Of course they want to take you on a walk. A lot of these men hate women. These feminine men hate women. They won't do much more than they do for their dog. I'm telling you that some of these guys get offended that you're asking them to treat them better than they treat you better than they treat their dog. They'll put their dog in the car and walk it in the park, and then they will want to drive their car and walk you in the park. They want to walk you like a dog on a leash. And then they're going to say, if you don't accept being walked, you're a gold digger, you're not good enough. That's what then they'll shame you. If you want to go for a park walk, by all means, but why do you think you don't deserve investment? I mean, coffees used to offend me. Now it's a park walking thing. Now I'm like, at least buy a coffee. It's only $4 or $5. I don't know how much coffees are, but they want to park walk you like a dog. They want to walk you in the park. And then when you're a really, really good girl and you perform like a good little doggy, they might buy you a bone. They might invite you for coffee. And if you're really, really good and you eat your little bone, they'll throw you a bone. And if you eat that bone, then you might even get dinner. If you're really lucky. And girls were falling for this. That should already be red flag to you. That should be like, thank you, no. 3 or 4 women say no to that foolishness and the foolishness ends. Problem is, all of us are saying yes. We're like, yes, please, daddy. Please, pretty please, with a cherry on top, please. Walk me like a little puppy. And then we get discouraged when he walks you like a puppy, gets into your knickers and doesn't call you back. And then you're like, oh, but I walked in the park. You know, I did the park walk and, you know, I'm not even hard work. I'm not even like high maintenance. These men, they say they want women that don't ask too much. I don't ask too much. And I'm still being walked in the park like a little puppy. I love you ladies so much. You're adorable. I have literally 5 minutes, then I've got to leave because literally somebody's going to start knocking on the door in 2 seconds. So ask me one question before I leave, or I'm going to go into my stories and I'm going to say, ask me a question. And what I will do is respond to that question for everybody to see. How about that if we run out of time? But I'm happy to take any questions. A lot. Okay, do we have any questions? And I know they're going to come for me. Those feminine men are going to be out here. Hey, Coach Nadine, Coach Nico here. They're going to be like, you women. I just can't. Please, the key is keep them moving. Say no, I'm still lonely because I can't find any masculine men. Alone is better than a feminine guy. I am telling you, because those guys hate women. The only reason they're not gay is because they don't have a physical attraction to men. But if they did, that's the only missing piece. For a lot of these men, it's only because they can't get it going for a man. Like they can't, they're heterosexual biologically. So, but they would rather commit, cherish. I've had women who've said to me, Chengi, my husband will wake up in the middle of the night to rescue his guy friend. But if I was stuck in the middle of the night on a highway, he would tell me to call AA. Yeah. I kid you not. These men will move mountains for their friend before they move it for their woman, because they cannot stand, emotionally, they can't stand women. And they think it's because of us. I mean, don't get it twisted. There are those of us on this team who are letdowns, who are abusive, who are narcissistic. Yes, there are women who are horrible humans, horrible human beings. but they're not responsible for why men have chosen to become women. There's more to it, but I won't get into it. But you have to walk away. That's all there is to it. I don't see any questions, so I'm going to assume you have none. All of my swans have to do inner work. If they are clients, and when I say all my swans, I mean clients, those who make the call. By the way, you get a free call with my coaches as an initial consultation for being part of my community. So why not use it? Why are you not using it, ladies? It's free. It's not even a sales call. Like literally, it's not even a sales call. I want you to use the free stuff, make use of it, because I don't want anybody to say, because I had in the comments, there's people, they will help you, but they want to charge you thousands. Okay, here's free. Nobody wants to use it. Go use it. Just comment, help, and a free link will be sent to you. Yeah, no, make use of it. Even if one of your problems is resolved by our coaches, use it. Don't say Mama Swan don't love you. Make the most. So in the Man Magnet Masterclass, I'm going to have some guests coming in, and I might open it up for you ladies to come in and ask questions to our other experts. And so keep an eye out on the reels and the stories, because I will let you know when we have a few experts coming in to answer your questions. I'm excited. So the girls in the program are doing so well. I'm so proud of them. And, we will open our doors to guests, and it's going to be £1. That's it. Okay, before you shoot me, it's £1. No excuses. There's no excuse, because here in the Black Swan Relationship Academy, we are not a cheap or free service, but I will always make sure that I lavish you with opportunities to get help for free, or so cheap as free, right? If you don't use them, there's nothing I can do about that. So use your free call. I love you to bits and pieces. Be strong. Get out there. Believe in yourself. Your man is waiting. Your handsome, masculine energy man is just waiting to love on you and treat you like the queen that you are. I promise, because I used to be the girl that used to date feminine men that used to hurt my feelings. Now I date masculine men that take care of me. So, and my clients have the same story. I'm here to help you level up your game and really be treated like the queen that I know you are. You are amazing. I love you. Don't let these men discourage you. There's a great guy waiting to love the hell out of you. I will see you on my next live. Take care of you. Bye-bye.